At this point, is there any chance that it could move a little further north or a little further south, or is it just too close to the coast now and it's going to move?
There's certainly a chance it can move a little further north, a little further south, and we can see, look at the bands back behind the storm and on top of the storm, is showing yellow in them as well.
Right.
So as they rotate up through Broward, we're not in any way saying that Broward is not going to get hurt for hurricane force conditions and not going to have damage here. Okay. We're not saying that at all, but what we are saying is that the most intense part of the storm, I think without any question, is going to occur in Dade County.
Okay, we got a caller from South Dade near 112th Street and 71st Avenue, east of US 1, about a mile from the parrot jungle, said the entire area is now blacked out, power completely gone. It happened, I guess, about an hour ago, according to the caller. The caller also said strong winds, a lot of lightning,
right, well,
and heavy thunderstorms and sheets of rain coming in at quite a clip.
We just lost one channel of the ADO, it looks like to me here, because we're...
I can also tell you, I just spoke with my house in Davie, and they have been without power for the past hour, and they have yet to hit real strong winds. They have a lot of rain, but not a lot of winds, but they've already lost some power. And I guess we also saw from Dave Bloom that Hallandale has lost power.
Lost power off. What's going on there, John? Do you know?
I'm going to go see if we're on.
And we're still on. If we have lost our signal on WTVJ, we are still on Y100. And
yeah, we need to. I tell you what, can you turn on Y100 there just to be sure we're still on the air on the radio over there, John?
Yeah.
Again, we are going to stick with you as long as we possibly can.
Yeah, we're still on Y100.
We're still on
okay.
with Y100. So if you can't see us, because we are now again still trying to bring equipment in here to see if we are on the air.
John, why don't you go ahead and see if you can figure out what exactly is going on
but
here.
We can tell the people through the radio exactly how far... Oh, we are on the air. Okay, we are on the air. Okay.
All right, John, we're going to go ahead and try and sort out what's happened, because what apparently happened is we have emergency generating equipment here, but during the transition from the FP&L power to our emergency power, sometimes a little disruption, apparently it's affected our video, and that's why your video screen is a little out of whack. But we want to preserve our fuel in our emergency generators because we feel certain that we're going to need them here tomorrow so that we can operate properly. And so we want to try and use FP&L as long as we can here. So it is disruptive to us, though, when they do take a hit and we lose the power, at least temporarily.
6:30 a.m.?
No, I think we're talking before that now.
6 o'clock, probably?
Or before that, even.
Really?
We're on the air now. Thank you, George.
It is now 3:45. So we're looking at another 2 hours, 3:39.
3:39.
Okay. 3:39.
Right. We're looking at, well, we can see that right below our picture there, the strong part of the storm is approaching the very tip there of right where the scan is right now. That's the very tip of Elliott Key. Now, right below you. You see that little tail of the yellow hanging out. No, over the see the red there.
Yep.
The red area is the part there is not. We don't know what's in there because that's being masked by the radar. But just below that yellow area, that's the intense part. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and just punch it up, and when we get it, we'll talk about what we see. But the yellow area. There's just below the red blob in the middle is the area that
it's just they're changing the radar a little bit here, but still the storm is maintaining strength, and we do have an Air Force reconnaissance aircraft investigating the area, and they say that the storm is maintaining strength. That means top sustained winds still 140 miles per hour. A little bit later today, the storm may lose just a little bit of punch since it's going to be over land, but it should re-strengthen once it makes its way off the southwest coast of Florida. That's a little bit later. This here is Dade County, and it's going to slide through central Dade County over toward Collier County, Everglades City.
Coming up, a look at your right now, so it's calm under that eye. But up to the north, we've had reports out of the Hurricane Center, which is just on the northern side of this here in Coral Gables, of sustained winds at 115 miles an hour with gusts up to 152. That is very close to where Dennis Smith is right now. Dennis, give us the latest on what you're experiencing. Obviously quite a bit.
Yes, we certainly are. In fact, the winds continue to blow us around, and I could pretty well verify that we've probably seen that 120 plus even here. We've had, over the last hour, a lot of the roofing around the particular structure we're in getting peeled off. We've heard some more glass shattering. Again, we haven't been with power for a couple of hours now, and the winds have just dramatically come up. You reported the Hurricane Center, which is not too far from where we're at, had a peak gust of 152. We have seen palm trees literally bend in one direction and snap back up, upright again. We've heard and seen some of the tree limbs snapping. I'm kind of getting a sandblasted effect because of the pebbles on the roof are kind of being blown around as well. We have not experienced any calmness, though. I mean, it has been continuous increase in the winds. So as far as our exact position in relation to the eye is kind of hard to determine, but we are starting to feel the wind shift around a little bit. They were coming from my left to your right, my left to right, and now kind of coming at my back and coming a little bit occasionally from my right. So we're getting the gustiness, and we're also getting the shift in the winds taking place. But as you pointed out, I think we're just about at the peak we're gonna feel in the Coral Gables area right now. Jim?
All right, Dennis, thank you very much. John Hope joins us now, and John, obviously he's right in the middle of things.
The full fury of the hurricane is there now. That's as bad as just about it's going to get, because they've already had gusts over 150 miles an hour at the National Hurricane Center, which is right there near where Dennis is. And we've had reports just offshore at Bowery Rocks. The sustained wind was 140 miles an hour with a gust of 160. So it is a good Category 4 hurricane. It is making landfall. It's sped up a little bit now. It's going a little bit faster than it was, so it's going to be racing across the southern tip of the state and affect the communities on the other side. Naples, for example, Marco Island. They'll be north of the center, I think, so their winds are going to be offshore. And the onshore winds south of the eye, as it emerges on the west coast, are going to be down pretty much in non-populated areas. But it's going to race across there and do a lot of devastation, especially underneath that eye wall.
Now, what about storm surge?
Storm surge is the other thing. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how high it got, but it's coming in right at the time of high tide. We are fearful that they'll have as much as 13 feet above normal in right there in Biscayne Bay, and that could do a lot of damage as well. And on Key Biscayne, these big ocean waves are coming in on top of the high tide generated by the hurricane. A lot of damage potential there, too.
We got a new advisory in just before we went on the air. The pressure went down to 932 millibars. Was there some strengthening before it made
landfall? Yes, there was. There had been some weakening early in the evening. Of course, we were down to 922 millibars pressure and 150 mile-an-hour winds at one time, and then it dropped off. But just as the hurricane was approaching land, it got better organized once again, and I think the winds picked up just a bit.
All right. Thank you very much, John Hope. We'll continue to
head on, right?
Yes, it looked like it was bearing down on the Cutler Ridge to Homestead area. We were in the eye wall here. We had 165 mile-per-hour winds here at the National Hurricane Center.
In the eye, is it completely calm?
Relatively calm, and it can last for several minutes depending on the speed of forward motion. The most dangerous part is the eye wall.
That's the rim of the circle.
Yes, sir. That's where the most damage occurred, and that's where you've heard a lot of tremendous damage reports in the Kendall area and south of there.
Was there damage to the center?
We lost our radome, radar, all the antennas off the roof. Cars were lifted up and placed on top of cars. We had appreciable damage in the area.
Hal, I know they rate hurricanes 1 through 5. If this is not a 5, what's a 5?
That's a good question. Actually, as far as our pressure measurements were concerned, it was a very strong Category 4 hurricane strengthening at landfall. Previously, it was almost a Category 5 east of the Bahamas. According to the damage, you would think it was a 5.
All right, now you were dead on right. This came right out of the Atlantic, hit right into South Florida on the southeastern coast, and now it's in the Gulf. What do your forecasts tell you now?